Hello, 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 hello. Oh,
Oh, you gotta
I did
make it
not.
live.
Oh, goodness. I did not have it live. Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. I apologize. I had my guest waiting through a 5 minute intro and it didn't go through. So we're going to just kick it off live right now. But welcome, welcome, welcome. If you didn't know already, this is the pre show to the King's Conversation with King. Special guests we have with us today before the Billions. And Chef Choupino will be joining us later. But first, we're going to be having a conversation with Before the Billions. We're going to be talking about the tech field. Now, what we're trying to do here is trying to have an open conversation and open dialogue amongst other tech field people to educate those about what the tech field is about. We are a collective of African Americans that are, totally gifted, totally put their head down and enter the field that is not very traditionally advantageous to our needs and our wants. So we are the representation of the field. So we want to say that the tech talks are going to be continually across multiple platforms. It's going to be with me. It's going to be with Before the Billions. We'll add other people on. We'll have server designers. We'll have data analysts, cybersecurity. We'll have people from different backgrounds talking openly about technology. So this is kind of like we're killing two rocks with one stone, or killing two birds with one stone. We're giving you a little pre-show, a little education, but not only that, we're also providing you with some pre-game work. So before I waste too much of your time, welcome, and my guest Before the Billions. What's
Hey,
going on?
what's up, everybody?
What's going on, my guy?
Doing well. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Thank you for coming. If you guys don't understand, I was on Before the Billions. We had a little talk about programming. He grilled me a little bit, but it's gonna be his turn, and we're gonna talk about a little bit about what he does, and after that, we'll get into some pre-show stuff. So, other than that, how you been, man? It's Friday.
Yeah, it sure is. I've been doing well. I've been working, and I'm glad it's Friday, man.
Yeah, and you kind of killing me with that coat, man. I thought I was gonna kill you, but you got me, man. I give you that.
This is the combo right here. Got the turtleneck with the camel
Yeah,
colored overcoat. Yeah.
man. You got me today. I give you that. So that's I want to say I know who this guy is. So hopeful,
Who?
Phil. Yes, yes. We're gonna have Phil. He's gonna be definitely a part of the tech talk. Like I said, it's gonna be a bigger movement, a larger movement. We're gonna try to push the needle a little bit, and we'll discuss some stats. But we're gonna definitely get Phil the IT Jedi on here. So let's go into the first thing. This is a good question.
Okay.
What's best, certifications to get started or trade school?
So it depends on what discipline you're trying to go into, right? So if
Good.
you're trying to become a programmer, right, there's many different ways of doing that. The most popular way, of course, is getting your bachelor's degree. That's the most popular and most straightforward way. But not everybody has the ability to go into a college degree path. You have to deal with student loans, and you have to deal with scholarships and everything else. And not a lot of people have that set up. So if you're trying to become a computer scientist or programmer, anything like that, I would say if you can't go into the traditional college route, I would say go into a boot camp. That would be a great way of you being or community college. So community college or boot camp, they have many different boot camps that you can get into that are they're expensive, but nowhere near as expensive as getting a college degree. And even they'll delay you even paying it until you actually get your first job in the tech industry, and then you have to pay them back. So it's around like $20,000 usually, 20,000 to more, a little bit more than that. But, that's what how much you should expect to be paying if you go into a boot camp, and you can most definitely pay that off in a few years of you, actually getting into the industry. And you can also go the self-taught route, which is going YouTube University, going into Udemy, going into Coursera, going into Skillshare, going doing your leak code questions and everything like that. So that is, the best those are the 3 ways of getting like the 4 ways of getting started if you're trying to get, into the tech industry as a programmer.
Yeah, you spoke on community colleges. I think a lot of people don't understand that majority of the time, community college is is the cheapest way.
It is. Yeah.
You can either get a scholarship or you can pay your out of pocket, but also in terms of coursework, you're technically after you finish the 2 years, you are a technically trained individual to go into higher coursework, and after that, you're pretty much you can take the 2 years and go. You
Right.
know, I
Yeah.
I um I remember when I started being a programmer, I went for to be a technical writer, and I was going to enter into a certificate program of that. But my first semester was all C, C++, datacom, and I think a hardware course and maybe another course in there. But that course, that line of coursing gave me a better view of the technical field, and I didn't have to spend a lot of money. So
Mhm.
I think you're absolutely right. For us to get a lot of us African Americans into the tech field, we also need to think about cost and
Yes.
not pigeonhole ourselves, because there is a lot of math. I will tell you that. There's going to be some math. And not only that, you're not going to be relying on your peers as much, because most of your peers are not in these type level courses. So you're going to have to do a lot of self studying.
Mhm.
Unless you're in, of course, like maybe a HBCU or a highly diverse campus. But for me, I remember after my intro classes, it was a lot of my teacher. Let me tell you this: my
Alright.
teacher was this Asian guy. He had such a hard lisp. I forced myself to sit in front of the class, and I was having headaches. It was my first data structure class,
Mm.
but
It's a
but
hard class.
yeah, so I was like, oh my gosh, I can't understand him, because my first level was both black teachers. So I was lucky enough to have my intro to computer science and my C programming teacher to be black, both of them black. So they
That's
helped
pretty
me.
good, actually.
Yeah, that is really good. That was really good. So, good. Say what's up to everybody. What's good, Abraham? So, is there an entry level position that I could learn as I earn? You know
So
what?
ooh, y'all gonna have to answer that one.
I'm gonna give a guess. I'm gonna say, if you want to just be in computer field, I would say tech support is probably the easiest of fields.
Mhm.
Um, Maybe I would also say maybe cybersecurity, because you're running more scripts.
It depends, right?
Okay.
Because there's other ways too. I think the easiest way, if you wanna go into development, you
Mm-hmm.
can become an HTML email developer. Right?
Ah,
That is a
yes.
very easy way of getting your programming, skills in order, so you can get paid and, of course, you get paid above average, because I know 40,000 around 40,000 is average. You probably should expect around 50,000, at the very most 60,000 depending on, where you live, starting out, right, as an HTML, email developer. It actually is easier because they have set up scripts or templates that you're just following, and every company has some sort of marketing that you can help out with. So whenever you get an email from a specific company, that is a HTML email developer setting that up specifically for your email provider. So that's an easy way of doing it. And of course, just like how eBlack said, help desk is probably a really easy way of getting into the tech industry because you don't have to be super technical. You just have to be able to follow a script or a manual, or listen to your manager or team lead in order to kind of figure out, oh, how do I troubleshoot issues? So
Yeah, yeah. I see a lot of brothers enter into the. What I see in terms of help desk is I see they go from help desk to then physical fixing computers to then servers, and then sometimes they'll get into the data part.
yeah, the
Now,
network engineers and stuff like that as well. Yeah.
yeah. Now, okay. Let's get into the nitty gritty.
All right.
I call myself a programmer. You know, in the tech field, there's a rivalry amongst us.
What you mean?
Us programmers and the server guys, we don't have the same meetings because
Yes,
we
sir.
go argue all day. And the data guys, sometimes they'll come in and they'll give us a lot of input. They're basically telling us what we can or what we should be doing, but we're fussing with them about how why our programs are slow.
Yeah, it happens all
So,
the time. Yeah.
what is your view on that? I want to hear your view about that because I'm a programmer, so I we walk around big chested like yeah, you see what they're using? I did that, and
You
then
know what?
your server guys say, well, they can't do it without you can't do it without my servers, and then the data guy says you guys can't do nothing without us telling you what to do. So
Yeah, and then the security people gonna come in like, oh yeah, we the one who evaluates the risk.
Yeah.
But
Oh
but
goodness, the security guys. Oh man, I had one guy. Me and him got into it about identity server,
mhm.
and I was trying to tell him that we were making too many programs with passwords. I was like, look, we gotta get us a federated system. Well, he he took that as an opportunity to go to the boss and try to get six more servers. And I
Mm.
was like, just we already have a VM LAN, we already have a virtual server, just get an extra one. But he's like, well, we need a certificate server, we need a password hasher. I was like, okay,
Was this
whatever.
like a was he a manager or team lead or something like that, or was he just another security guy?
No, he was the head server guy.
Okay, so okay, but
But
to
you
answer,
know office politics.
yeah, so I'll answer your question. Is that with the programmers, they actually do say like, oh yeah, you're like the rock star of the company, really, because without us, then the software wouldn't exist. But then there are a lot of other people, like they have this debate where who's really the rock star, the programmers or the accountants? So you
Yes.
got to really figure that out. But my thing is that when we're interacting between teams, and I'm on the data engineering side. So I'm the one who helps build the processes that actually gets data from one place to the other, so that way the business can make decisions based off of the dashboards, the machine learning, and the metrics that the data scientists will then provide to them.
Yeah.
So without that information, without that data that everybody's looking at, you would not be able to see anything on the software. Like you would completely, like, there'll be nothing but like maybe hard coded data, hard coded values, but that's all you could be able to see. So whenever something goes wrong on on the software, they're looking at us. They're looking at the data engineers because they're like, okay, wait a second, why is it'll be like, okay, we go to them first and we blame them, and they'll say, okay, wait, why is this not showing up? And you go through this whole long process, and you figure out everything was written as expected based off the business requirements. And then it'll be like, oh, wait a second, the UI developer is he made this change, and now all of a sudden it's not showing up.
Yes.
So
Yes.
that's what we have to go through. Everybody goes to us and be like, okay, what's going wrong? Right?
Yes. I trust me. We're programmers. I will say we are definitely artists. We do nothing wrong, and everything was written as designed by our developer and lead, our architect. So
The
yeah,
business,
I
usually the business is one gives you the requirements. So the
Yes,
business
yes.
analyst and the project manager and stuff like that, they're the ones who tell you what to do.
Yeah, and we hate them too. But
It
but
depends.
the I love this comment. I
Mhm.
love this comment because we forgot CompTIA. Now, if you guys are not familiar with CompTIA, it is a conglomerate of programming languages. You become a savant of, say, the computing world, and there's different levels of it. You know, you can go through networking, cloud, and security, and that is an option too, because essentially what it means is that you've taken a number of tests in different fields. So you can take a certain amount of Microsoft tests. You can take a certain amount of, say, Amazon web cloud stuff, and these with this collective experience, you then become certified, and businesses look for this specifically because a lot of times you do not know what a person does until they actually do their job. So these certificates are a way of saying, "Hey, you've passed enough. You should know what a server is."
Yeah. Now we'll say this, that these are not required to become a programmer, but if you're trying to go into being a network engineer, a cloud architect, going into cybersecurity, actually the CompTIA security, like really you can get all of these, and then I believe that if you get one, then you get another one. Let's say you get the A plus, then you get the network plus, and then your A plus gets updated along with your network plus, and so on. So you can get these certificates, and then they'll kind of lead into each other, almost like a track.
Yeah.
Now, I do know people who have gotten all of these certifications, not because it's for a job, but just because they want to challenge themselves. And these things are going to cost like, I would think around like 200 and something, I
Yes.
believe, each time you take it.
But you can also wait for special deals, end of the year specials and whatnot,
Yeah.
depending on what courses you're taking. So it's definitely something that you have to be in for the long haul, and you have to look at the bigger picture. You can't just try to. I wouldn't. Sometimes if you, being that you were on if so many people were on unemployment, I think that was a great time. But if you're working a job, pace yourself, because a lot of these things do get updated. I
Hmm.
have a ton of my Microsoft development stuff just like it's worthless now. It's I've lost it. So yeah, man. Let's get to some of this stuff.
Yes.
Good evening, eBlack. Before the building for young people weighing options coming out of school, is there an advantage or more or less starting out in the private sector or working for the government? That's a very good opinionated question. I would
Yes.
say personally, it's just like it's just like how your mama always tell you, work for the government. It's a good job. You'll be stable and secure. Absolutely right. You work for the government, you're more than likely or less than likely to get fired. Working for the private sector, you get a little bit more freedom. The government system, while it does have a larger budget, it does also not have the flexibility of the private sector. So if you want to be have a if you want to have or know a lot of languages, sometimes the government system, because they're hard locked and they can't change because they have to wait for every budget year to change. A private sector says, "Hey, I need this fixed now." So it's all depending on what you want to do and how much security you want in the employment stages in an
Yeah.
employment system. So
So, and to answer your question, it's really just depends on you. It's actually going to be based off of what you want in life, really. I have Professor Blackout's on my channel very regularly, and he works in the government sector. So, and he's been contracting with them for many years. He has like over 30 years of experience, and he would always say, I get these contracts, and it's actually kind of difficult for people to get fired because of unions or whatever it is.
yes,
And it's one of those things where, hey, if you want to work for the government, that's good. And if you want to work for a private company, then that's good as well. Just kind of depends on you, and also your opportunities and where you live as well. Those are some biggest things. Where do you want to live? If you want to live in like maybe California or something like that, there's a lot of government jobs and there's also private sector jobs in Silicon Valley. And then you just kind of got to go wherever they pretty much tell you. So yeah, you got to follow the money sometimes.
And not only that, for us minorities, some of these places are especially looking for us. They want to have us in there. So be very aggressive on what you want to do, and know what field you're entering into, and know the area that you want to possibly move into, and the diversity of that area. Because sometimes you do, like I said, you do want to be around people like yourself. So be understand that if you're applying towards certain companies, you may be the only one guy there, or the one gal. So let me see. Sorry for messing up your name. Working at the same time. Yeah, Phil's a hard worker. I wanted to get Phil on this one. But he said he had to work through the holidays. So I
Oh
get
yeah,
it.
man.
They sometimes the veterans or seniority overrules, and these people take these 4-day holidays.
Now
And
let me
we.
tell you this though, because this is what I was going through, because I'm a contractor, right,
Mm-hmm.
with my company, and I bring this up on my channel all the time. Is that okay? What are the pros and cons of being a contractor for a specific company? And it really depends on the contract that you sign. Not only should you negotiate your whatever job that you're going for, don't just take whatever they give you as far as their offer. That's extremely important. And also you need to understand what to negotiate for, because the worst thing they can say is just no, right? So, with that, when eBlack was saying like, "Oh yeah, he got people working through the holidays," my company is actually like, "Oh, you know what? We're gonna give you a mandatory vacation, and then but it's unpaid." So you can be like, "Wait, what?" So that's some things that you got to figure out when you are a contractor. But I will say is that if you're trying to get in to the tech industry, that's like the fastest way of doing it, because becoming a contractor, they're going to be like, okay, uh, we'll hire you on to like, well, not hire you on, we'll put you on as a contractor a lot faster than you would be as a full time employee. Because a lot of these companies don't want you as a full time employee because they don't want to have to pay for these benefits and all this other kind of stuff. So a lot of people go through the contract route, then they go on full time with the company.
I also, I started out. The reason why I had a lot of good technical skills in my earlier life is because I was a temp agent. I worked through temp agencies, so
Mm.
I knew the whole Microsoft package. I knew the tests and everything. I knew the whole system, and this is during the Y2K era. So you had to know Microsoft Excel, PowerPoint, Access database, and they put you in this room and they give you these little tests, and like I said, the temp, but it got me in the door of a lot of these companies because the companies did not want to pay a regular person. They didn't have it in their budget, but they made a temp agent or a temp agency. They treat you like a stapler. It's like you're basically another $15,000 stapler. They can afford a $15,000 stapler, but they can't afford to pay a $15,000 a year that employee. So it's if you want to get the good experience, I would definitely tell people to go to temp agencies, put your resume, make sure you get multiple temp agencies, put your resume
Yes.
together, and when you do get some of these jobs, because some of these jobs, my first job in the tech field, I was helping a data analyst. Well, guess what I put on my resume? Assistant data analyst.
Yep.
So now I have experience. So, there's ways, other than just being experienced in your field, but sometimes you do gonna have to do some of that resume work to get yourself in the door and to get the position that is necessary. So, you know, speaking of that, that's a good segue because even though we're talking about technical issues, this is the pre-show. This is let's see. What is he doing? His maintenance weekend iOS. Oh goodness.
Mm.
See, that's a programmer's worst nightmare. See, when we come back after these weekends and we wonder why our programs don't work, we blame this guy.
You know what's crazy is that especially when you have support, like a support week, those are like if you work in the DevOps team or something like that. Like I used to work in a DevOps team, and I would tell you that it is not necessarily stressful. It's just kind of like, okay, it's annoying working support because you get calls from like people in India or something like that. They'll be calling you at 1, 2, all the way up to 5 o'clock in the morning, and you still got to show up to work the next day. You be like, man, y'all had like anything that went wrong, like something like a job just all of a sudden missed or failed or something like that. You will get a call from somebody from India, and they're like, okay, can you look into it? It'd be like 3 o'clock in the morning, and
Yeah,
you got to be able to answer it and be able to look. You got to pull out your computer, all kinds of stuff. So
yeah.
yeah, maintenance and
That's if
support
they
are
give you access from a remote area.
exactly right.
I've been through that too. That's I. Mm-mm. Anyway, but you know, thank you for showing up. I don't want to make this too short, but I also want you to kind of chime in because this is the pre-show. We're gonna bring my guy in, Chef. Chef, you ready? He's getting a little ready. He's good. He's falling asleep on us. That's what he's doing. What's going on, Chef?
Ooh,
You're on mute.
What's going on, y'all? What's going on?
hey, how you
For the
doing?
billions, what's up, family?
How you doing, sir? I'm doing well.
Yeah, man. I was just sitting to the back because you guys were talking. You guys were talking Yiddish to me. You know what I'm saying? All right. I can. So see, I could reimage the server on my Air Jordan laces. You know what I mean? But that's about it. You
But
know. But how you doing though?
Doing well.
but
Good, man.
like I said, we're trying to kill two birds with one stone. I'm gonna ask him just one question, and then we're gonna get into our mix. Like I said before, before the billions, you're free to go after that. But I think this is kind of up our alley because in the tech field, we get a lot of money. I'm not stunned, but we get a little money, and people look at us, especially from our culture, as a paycheck. So the thing is I don't know if you have any children or if you're married or if you have any significant other. We'll leave that to you to decide to answer. But the conversation that we're having today is toxic trait of successful people that prevent love and marriage. So like I said, we get a lot of money. Next thing you know, we get a little big headed. I'm a programmer. You know. So I'm gonna just ask you what are some toxic traits that us as in the tech field that you feel that we get that prevents us from getting to you know to the over to jump the bridge and to jump the broom and to get
Oh, to get
into a
married. So some
yeah
things that stopping you from getting married, right?
yeah
Yeah. So one of the things is it's coming up to I'm trying to build a kingdom,
yeah
right? But so before I get married, before I, go ahead and settle down and stuff like that, get children, I'm like, okay, you know what? Let me go ahead and get my money right. Let me save up. Let me invest it. Let me make sure that I'm putting my best step forward before let me make sure I vet everything. Not necessarily toxic. I don't think that's necessarily toxic, but that's one of those things that you want to make sure that you get ahead of before you actually go ahead and have children and make these wild steps, right? That's actually one of the reasons why I'm not married right now. I want to make sure I'm responsible, and and I want to make sure that I can take care of family, right? Um, and then if you were saying like a toxic thing, right, is
yeah
that sometimes people are just not interested in it, not interested in getting married or don't see any value in getting married, right? You have people who maybe like, oh, you know what? I just want to play my video games and and chill at the house and all this other kind of stuff, instead of you know putting in the time to go ahead and look for a relationship or stuff like that. A lot of procrastination goes on, right? A lot of people not taking care of their health. So, on my channel, I actually show me working out at the gym, trying to get these people motivated and, inspired to, take care of their health. In addition to teaching them about how to get into the tech industry, that way that there's multiple different levels of wealth, including wealth meaning financial and also in your health as well.
Okay, see, that's what I'm saying. We
Know
gotta
that
get
there's
you. We
multiple
gotta
different
get you over to this
levels of wealth.
relationship talk, man. You know.
Wealth meaning financial and also in your health as well.
But hey, man. You know, like I said, if you want to hang around, you can. But
No,
like I
pretty
want
much.
you to shut your if you want to shut your channel out right now.
Yeah, I can stay for a little while, but
Okay, okay,
let
yeah.
me
I didn't want you. I didn't want you to feel because you know we dig a little deep in this.
in the relationship.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I wanted to I wanted to respond to that question, right? Because the question, it was actually a pretty dope question, and I want us to not lose that one.
Mhm.
Why is it that folks, Red Bull, it's not Ice House? Somebody said that yesterday. Why is it that folks don't, they just look at the computer industry, the tech industry, as just a regular old ass 9 to 5 job? All right. One of the reasons I believe is our society, our culture, our current modernistic culture, the requirement for fun, extravagance, and sexiness and swagger. Even though STEM, science, technology, basically all of those things are the future. What it is, it just not has not become sexy to them as yet. For the past 50 years, 60 years, watch this, Billions. If James Bond was actually a computer programmer and not a spy for MI6, right now, you would probably have 40 naked women on your couch right now, Billions. You get what I'm saying? What's considered swaggy, what's considered sexy, it still plays a part within our culture, even though the person is making a ton of dough. There's lawyers right now that you'll have a girl living in the city, and she sees a lawyer making 150, 200. Nah, she wants that hustler making 40K a week, you know, and the sexiness of it, the panache, the pizzazz, all of those things are the things that have people look a certain way at a certain thing, even though that certain thing, is worth more. I've seen dudes drop 80K, 100K in a strip club, 80K, 100 in a strip club, and then I would look at my stock portfolio at some certain things that I purchased, and like Shiba Inu and stuff like that. I'm not a financial analyst, by the way. The Lord's made me lucky in certain situations, but I look at it and I'm like, damn, they just blew that. If they put 1/10 of what they blew there into this, they would have had more. But the thing is, the allure is one of the things that our culture gets caught up in. I work in corporate America. Before I decided to let my beard grow out, and stop being a regular old suit, there was a nickname folks were giving me, Deacon Ford, right? It was a joke. I had my, embossed leather suitcase and suited and booted, bow ties and the whole nine. And when some point I changed, all of a sudden now I started becoming sexy. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's crazy, man. It's crazy. Even though I have the same amount of dutifulness and hard work and productivity and all of that stuff, our culture still requires some extra shit, some extra fluff, some extra polish, and it's interesting. So to answer that question, it kind of triggered me a little bit. Like, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right, because computer programmers make that bread. And in this technologically bound society, you know, we're tethered, period. No pun intended. We would expect you guys to be the ones that actually run the freaking matrix. But they talk about you guys like you're just some clerk that's punching the clock. And that shows a lack of depth and understanding of what this whole thing really is.
And that's why we started this tech, or I thought of this tech talk, and I kind of got with before the billions, because we wanted to show actual black men. That's why we're wearing our best wear, because we wanted to show how black people in tech do work, and we do have a technology, and we're both different. I'm nothing like before the billions, and before the billions is nothing like me, but our bread is right,
Yeah.
and there's no reason why we shouldn't have more African Americans in our field. I tell people all the time, if you listen to rap, you're speaking broken English. If you know how to freestyle, you know how to logically put together words. That's exactly what I do 90% of the time. I just frame it, and then I recycle it, and then I reframe it.
Yeah.
And that's what and well, we have to make a change somewhere. And we're just starting off. Like I said, we're gonna get Phil, because Phil worked out too. He had them 75 dumbbells. He
Like,
posted
he
it on
putting in
Facebook.
work.
Yeah, he
He lifts
posted.
40 servers at a time.
He,
Two 40-pound servers.
I'm telling you, if you get him mad in the server room, it's gonna be a long day. You might not find you. But
Can I add in on that?
yeah, go ahead.
So, what Chef was saying is exactly right. We have too much negativity going on when it comes to our young people. When we have people saying like, "Hey, you know what? Math is hard," and then people avoid a lot of these math classes. Where when I was growing up, I grew up poor, but my mom was still like, "You know what? We're gonna put you in tutoring for math because I needed to know it." And then I ended up going into computer science because my dad, who was a police officer, but he also did IT as well.
Mm.
So since he was like my biggest influence on choosing that degree, and I was like, you know what? I had always been told, it was a bad thing to be nerdy. It's a bad thing to be, intelligent and all this other kind of stuff growing up. And then, you hear these, like, just like our chef was saying, you have a man who making like $200,000 a year as an attorney, and then, oh, we need the hustler, he making 400 and something thousand. And then, not knowing that it's such a slippery slope to where, hey, you know what, he might end up um, getting deleted, right? He might end up going to prison, all these other kinds of things. And you're like, okay, you know what? I'm not going to stoop to where, okay, let me do something illegal and then put my family at risk. I'm going to go ahead and do it, the other way, which is getting into the STEM field, getting into the tech industry, getting a job or a career that I can have flexibility and then be able to start my own business if I want to. Put that funding into my own business. And most businesses are funded based off of your paycheck. So whenever you see people saying, "Oh, quit your job and all this other kind of stuff to start your business," like, hey, how about you use that money that you're getting from your job to go ahead and fund your business? That way you can start off right.
Man, I don't have none of that. I'm a struggle streamer, so I don't have none of that. Wah, 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 wah. I don't have none of that.
Buy you
But
one
y'all
of
hitting
these.
it.
Ow. There you go.
Yeah, so I'm gonna I'm gonna give me a stream deck one of these days. I don't know. Oh man, I'm such a programmer. I look at a stream deck. I'm like, well, why can't I do touchscreen? Why can't I just program it myself? I get a lot of the time. Like sometimes the technical knowledge actually blocks me from buying a lot of things. So I'm like, I can develop that, like our security system, or even our lawn irrigation system. Like I'm like, why do I want to buy that? I could just give me a Raspberry Pi, set me up a server. I don't need none of this.
Doing everything from scratch, and that's gonna lead you to not get things done.
Yeah.
Yeah, because businesses hate when people try to do everything from scratch. They're just like, man, just use this tool because there's actually a guy who's on YouTube. He was a software developer, but he never actually had a job. as one. He just used to do it on the side. And he was like, I'm gonna use my software development skills to be able to build my own business. And when he finally started getting some money from his business, he started being like, dang, I don't have enough time to get things done. And he hated to have to hire on employees. He said he wanted to get everything done by himself. And that led to him being like, you know what? I gotta sit back. Let me go ahead, let me handle the bookkeeping, or let me handle, running the business, and then let hire on a developer and stuff like that to actually do things for me instead of spending
Because
so much time doing everything.
we'll developers will create the GL program. Oh, we'll if hey, I mean, I can create QuickBooks. It's nothing,
Yes,
just a couple
exactly.
extra, just a, so it's definitely I will say in the tech field there's definitely an ego, a little bit of ego in there, but we got like I said, I think like I said we want to get ourselves that speaks to almost the success of toxic people because we want to get back to our subject. This is the pre-show. We're getting people ready for some of the toxic traits of successful people that prevent love and marriage, and maybe ego might be one of those things because we
Yeah.
feel that we can do it all ourselves. So once again, before the billions, his link is in the description. Chef Choupino, his link is in the description. My link is on the page. And also, oh, I forget to tell y'all, I do have a website with some gear on it. I got my uncappable sweater on there because have you been keeping up with Kevin Samuels?
I saw that he had Brittany Renner on there last night, I think.
Yes, I feel so validated. People got on me about Amber Rose, and I'm like, y'all just don't understand. Look, it's a whole thing. I'll get with you later about that. But yeah, man. If y'all have a chance, go to shop.h. Let me paste this in the thing. I'll paste it in the thing later. But if y'all can go there, check out some nice stuff. I got some boxing stuff because I was getting ready for my boxing event, but I think that got canceled. So so anyway, I'll holler at you. We got to get ready for our show because it's Friday.
Right.
Friday, hey, before Billions, whenever you come, call us up on Conversations with the King. We get spicy on there. We'd love to hear from you. But Fridays are our best days. We toast up some drinks and we have fun and talk about stuff. So if you want to come by, come by. But like I said, the link's in the link to us. Let me double check something.
It's Friday.
No. See, there's only 9 likes. Hold on.
Oh, that's disrespectful.
That's disrespectful. Here.
eBlack been fighting for them likes all his life.
No. I'm not talking about my likes over at King's channel. Everybody right now, I don't care what's going on. This is the pre-show. You're supposed to go from here over there. Click the link.
Yeah.
Click the link. Go like it because we don't want to wait till 8 o'clock to get started. Click the link. Drop a like right now.
eBlack, do you mind if I go ahead and shout out my channel real quick?
Okay, yeah, go ahead. Yeah, put it in the comment section. Or the
I
private
can't
chat.
because I'm not a moderator, so it's not gonna show up.
What about private chat?
In private chat, I can't.
Yeah, put it in private chat. I'll copy and paste it. I ain't got no problem with that.
So, what's up, everybody? This is William from Before the Billions. I am a professional data engineer, and on my channel, I teach you on how to get into the tech industry. I also will talk about many different discussions about different topics, and also I do interviews on my channel as well. So if any of those things have interested you, then please go check out my channel.
All right.
Right.
So,
and I have the link in the private chat as well.
Okay, cool. Let me copy and paste that. All right. So go right there. Once again, we got to get Phil in the building, okay? Phil, the IT
Yeah,
Jedi.
no doubt.
We got to get Phil, IT Jedi. we'll probably we'll do it on his channel, or he can come on one of our channels or whatever. Okay. You know, like I said, we're trying to change the narrative, and we're trying to leave something but greater. We're not trying to make a YouTube beef. We're not a gang. We're you know, we're all brothers just trying to make it in life, and let's just try to leave something better for everybody else. So other than that, I'm gonna end it on here because I will talk all day. You got you a sub, man.
Thank you so much.
You know, so
Oh, you're gonna get one. You're about to get one from me too, bro.
I appreciate that one. Thank you so much, man.
so you know,
Thank you for joining.
thank you for joining. So, Chef, we're gonna
See you in the next universe in about 4 minutes.
Yeah, I'm about to get changed, man. I don't know.
Uh-oh.
Y'all, it's Friday night.
Oh yeah, don't stop peeling off in front of us now, homie.
Oh,
I mean,
All right,
I love you like a brother. I love you like a brother, not like a stripper. All right?